When it comes to your career, is working hard hardly working for you? Hey there, brand builders. Liz Nolly Tillman here, and welcome to my secret sauce, where I share tips, tricks, and success strategies designed to help you build your brand, be yourself, and win in business. So today I want to talk about 5 beliefs that many of us were raised with, and while there's a ton of love, encouragement, truth, and wisdom that go into each of these 5 beliefs, they also can serve to trip us up when it comes to navigating all the politics and the dynamics of a corporate environment. And when that happens, what we find out all too often is that not only is working hard not necessarily the only key to success, it can also be a double-edged sword when it comes to getting the rewards that we seek. So let's just jump right into the first belief. This one goes like this: get a good education so that you can be whatever it is and get a good job. One where you can stay forever. If you've heard some flavor of that coming up, you're not alone. I heard it too. And let me be clear. Nobody is saying don't get a good education. Education is the key to foundational things. However, too many times the folks who love us and raise us, when they say get a good education, they mean finish high school, which I highly recommend to everybody. And more often than not, they mean go to college, grad school, medical school, law school, or whatever. And that's great if college, law school, med school, or whatever is for you. However, for many of us, we're going to wind up going to trade school, or we're going to get a certificate, or school might not be our thing post high school. And that's okay. Maybe we've been called to start a business or create an organization and build and lead a nonprofit or faith-based organization from the ground up. Maybe we've been called to do something different. So if you've heard this one and it's created a little bit of cognitive dissonance for you, that's probably why. Because the idea of getting an education, i.e. going to college, isn't necessarily for everyone. And then there's the part 2 of that same statement. Why do you go to college? To get a good job. Now, there was a time where you could get a, quote, good job where you could stay forever and retire and live the American dream. But stability in corporate settings, I don't know. How can I best describe it? It's somewhere between Area 51, finding Bigfoot, and going swimming with the Loch Ness monster. So it just doesn't really exist. Yes, there are some phenomenal companies out there. However, as we've seen with the pandemic or earthquake or disaster or whatever, one political change, the advent of the internet took companies out that have been around for generations. So I'm not really sure there's anything that really qualifies as a quote-unquote good job, because there are some people making great money, but they're miserable, and your happiness, your physical and your mental health isn't worth all of that. And companies right size, downsize, left size, upside, downside. They go through so many organizational changes. Even though these good blue chip companies that have been around forever, nobody's saying that your job is promised tomorrow, right? So that's the flip side of that one. So yes, get educated, be technically proficient in whatever your calling happens to be. But the key is to honor your calling and do that, whether that's getting a job and working for somebody else or doing your own thing. Second belief, be true to yourself, but remember whose you are. A lot of us hear this over and over and over again. You got to be yourself. And that's all great until you get to a workplace where you have to talk a certain way, dress a certain way, you can't wear your hair a certain way, and you find it really, really, really hard to bring your authentic self to work every single day. That's a conflict there too, right? And there's all kinds of lawsuits and newspaper articles out there around this issue, so I won't get into all of that. But I just say that to say sometimes it's really, really hard to be true to ourselves and honor where we came from and reconcile that with where we're going. Belief number 3. This one says that you may encounter isms, racism, sexism, this ism, that ism, but know that you have earned your slot. You're not there because of a quota. You're not there because of affirmative action or whatever it is. Why? Because you've worked hard, you've gotten the education, you've earned your seat at the table, you've been yourself, you've done everything that you were raised to do. But you're still going to encounter the isms anyway. And that is exceptional advice. And if you've heard that one, that means that you've been lucky enough to have people in your life who have been a few places and experienced a few things to tell you what the deal really is. So yes, the isms are out there and they're going to be there. However, the trap with this one is sometimes we become trapped by our own awareness of the isms, meaning that every time something doesn't go our way, we want to blame this ism or that ism. And I'm not saying that the isms aren't real, because they are. However, what you've got to do is position yourself to advocate for yourself, document, and as my friends like to say, bring those receipts so that when the isms come your way, you are prepared to fight for yourself, stand up for yourself and for others who may be in that same situation, and fight for what you believe in. Number 4, you can have it all. You can have a life partner, you can have kids, you can have puppies, you can have a house, a cat, a dog, a picket fence, ducks, emus, whatever, a goldfish, whatever your vision of the American dream is, you can have it all, right? And that's what we're raised to believe, that we can do anything and have it all. And to a great extent, that is true. You can. However, at the same time, so many of us are out there trying to have it all and live our best lives and do all of these things, and it's just exhausting. You know, work-life balance is a challenge. Work-life integration is a challenge as well. And it's hard. It's really hard. So we wind up thinking, man, nobody can have it all. Or we see people on TV or on the internet, the influencers and celebrities that we follow, and they're out there living the life and everything, and we have no idea what goes into that or what they might be battling at home. And so that's the other side to the you can have it all belief. And you want to make sure that you've got the mindset, the tools, and the network around you to position yourself to have it all. You need to learn how to establish boundaries, manage your time, love yourself, and put yourself first. And finally, number 5. If you haven't heard it by now in this talk, work hard, work hard, work hard has been a theme. Have I mentioned that you're supposed to work hard? Yeah, you can play hard too, but work hard, because that's the key to rewards. Well, so what do I have to say about this one? Well, the best I can say about this one is so many times working hard leads to a case of performance punishment. And if you don't believe me, I literally wrote a book about it. Like to read it. Here it goes. Shout out to David Alan Greer and Calhoun Tubbs. Aha! Anyway, yeah, working hard isn't necessarily the end all and be all, because like I talk about in my book, sometimes you can catch a case of performance punishment and it can still lead to your head being bumped up against that glass ceiling. So you have to be prepared, and you have to identify and practice strategies that work for you such that you're holding other people accountable for getting you the rewards that you so richly deserve. And as a bonus one, call this one 5A because it's associated very closely with working hard. So many of us, almost everybody I know, has been told this one. Work hard, but you gotta be twice as good to get half as much. If you've heard that one, hit the like button, chime off in the comments, raise your hand, say yes. And there's so much truth in that. It really is, especially if you look like me. There's a lot of truth in that. However, the flip side to that one is that we become used to accepting the fact that when we work twice as hard, we're going to get half as much. And nobody teaches us how to get not half as much, but just as much as that person in the cube or the office down the hall or sitting next to us, right? That's what this whole corporate game is about. So don't let anybody tell you that you're only deserving of half as much. That's what the pay equity gap is about, and the wage gap that we face here in these United States. And it's been around forever. But with the right coaching tools and strategies, you can position yourself not to get half as much or 60 cents on the dollar or even 70 cents on the dollar, but just as much, and get that equal pay for equal work that you and all of us rightfully deserve. So if you want to go deeper into these 5 areas, join me on September the 30th, 2020 for a live interactive workshop that's being hosted by the United Way of Greater Union County Women United as part of their Women at the Table breakfast series. And I will be hosting an interactive virtual workshop called How to Retool Your Career When Working Hard is Hardly Working. We're going to be talking about all 5 of these things in greater detail. Well, 5.5, right? Because there was that bonus one that I threw in there. But we're going to be talking about all of these dynamics in greater detail. And I'm going to give you 3 actionable strategies for breaking free of these mindset limitations. So click the link in the show notes and make a point to join us. It's free. And again, it's going to be presented by the United Way of Greater Union County Women United. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on the 30th. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. And if you like this episode and you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this on Instagram or Facebook, please follow me. And if you do nothing else, head on over to liznollytillman.com and look in my freebie section for my brand new Find Your Purpose Action Planner. I just released this, and it's my step-by-step roadmap to identifying and articulating your purpose so you always know what your true north is, and so you can live the life that you were meant to live. It's free, it's an instant download, and you can get it right now. Head over to liznollytillman.com, check out the freebies section, and you'll see the first item there is your Find Your Purpose Action Planner. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.